Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV live on YouTube and Periscope. So you're seeing this live on Twitter as well, for that matter. My name is John, your host, as always. And as always, I hope you're doing well under these very, very tricky circumstances. Excuse me. This is episode 47 of the Daily Live Chat with John, which is a format where I talk to you about a lot, mostly West Ham stuff, but we talk about life things in general, and you guys ask questions to each other, and of course myself, and we all interact with each other. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you've enjoying the content. Yesterday's video got a lot. Yesterday's live stream got a lot of views quite quickly. Well, not saying it wasn't in the thousands or anything, but it hit 100 very quickly. So I'm hoping that's a good sign, and that you guys are enjoying the content as always. As always, guys, let's see who's in the chat. Richie, good evening, my amigos. Love that, loving that. Hope you're all right, mate. Nick's in as well. Nick and Rick. Hello, guys. Nice to see you. Chris is in. Sunshine can't be in today. Will be tomorrow. Bye for now. Thanks for the update, Sunshine. Much appreciated. Jazz says, evening, JP and New Hammers. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing all right. Metal in both legs is back, saying white stripes. And Richie says, evening, JP. Right. Okay. So let's crack on with the first thing I want us to talk about, which is there's rumors coming out, and it's more than, and from quite good sources as well, for that matter, not West Ham related. Apologies. Just making sure you're all awake. That it looks like the 2 meter rule up here is going to be reviewed down to 1 meter, but only for businesses. Yeah, everything else is still for 2 meters. To me, it kind of reinforces the argument that lockdown should have been brought back earlier if it was really going to hit the economy that in the way that it has. And likewise, at the end of the day, we could have. I'm not going to say like everybody else is saying that bringing in the lockdown early would have cut the fatality rate by half. I'm not going to say that. There's not enough information to make that assessment. But at the same time, guys, it's a very, very good shout that that it could have made a significant reduction. It could have made a significant reduction. But yeah, apparently that's going to be the first thing. Sophie N says, wasn't it 1 meters at first? No, it's always been 2 meters right from day one. 2 meters. So I don't know where you got that information from, Sunshine. I really don't. Richie says, is that a cheeky beer you're opening there, JP? No, it's not. It's my usual can of orange drink, shall we say? Can't say what because it's advertising. So I'm going to try and make sure that you guys don't get to see the branding name. So that's probably a bit. Hang on, where are we? There you go. But yeah, it's not. I'm afraid, mate. Also, Lloyds Bank have been fined £64 million for overcharging their mortgage customers. Very, very good, good sign that the banks are getting their asses slapped again because they're trying to make themselves money. So I guarantee this has been over the last 4 to 5 months that they've been doing this because they knew something was coming. So they're trying to get as much money out of you and I as possible. So if anyone's watching that is a Lloyds Bank mortgage customer, check your details and double check this, because it's not right. It's not right. And also, for that matter, now this is an interesting thing. Deloitte, the BBC sport website, earlier put up an article about Deloitte feeling that the Premier Leagues could face up to £1 billion in revenue loss. Yet when I went to go onto the website to read it through for you guys, that's it. It's gone. It's disappeared. So apparently. Mate, apparently there's something wrong with that article. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Don't read everything you're saying and don't jump to conclusions. I was literally going to read it out what the article said because it was quite interesting to read, and all of a sudden it's disappeared. Very, very interesting that. Metal in both legs says keep pumping the dollar into the stock markets. That's basically all they want to do now, guys. As you would have seen earlier today, the Premier League fixtures times for the rest of the 6 games after the first 3 have been published earlier today, and it is exactly as we talked about 3 days ago. So I'm really, really glad that we were able to. I was able to give you that information 3 days before it was made public. So as that shows you guys how much research I do for this before I do anything else with you guys. But yeah, it's Janai. Hello, mate. It's good to see you. But yeah, it's ridiculous. There is one new positive test for coronavirus in the Premier League, but the club hasn't been released as yet. Maybe might be a little bit later. 6 tests have been positive in the Championship, and also 2 in League One, both apparently at Portsmouth as well, for that matter. Now, for anybody that's into rugby, apparently it's going to be discussed that they're going to looking to temporarily suspend scrums. That's ridiculous. That is crazy. I understand the reasons behind it because, close contact with everybody, blah, 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 right? I understand the reasons behind it, but that's the thing. It's like I'll say, no, you can't have the kickoff. In football, cancelling it because you can't have the kickoff. Well, do you know what I mean? That's exactly how it all goes down, unfortunately. So what's Sofiane, the social justice warrior, saying now? Sofiane, 1 new positive test. People say it's not a lot, but they can spread the virus to other people, and then it's a big deal. Of course, that's why we're in the situation we are. Richie says, will you be talking about the kit for all teams for the first game back? Clarify that, please, Richie, because that could be anything. Nick says Super Rugby is back, the best competition in the world, only in New Zealand though. Nick, is there any sport you don't watch? It's crazy, man. You're watching all the football at the minute. You play cricket, if I remember correctly. You watch rugby, mate. No wonder you're a youngster, mate. You have to cut all that shit out by the time you get yourself a permanent girlfriend, man. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. You might be able to watch all that stuff. And also, looks like British Gas are going to be cutting back 5,000 jobs as well. It's awful. It really, really is stupid. It really, really is stupid. But again, it's because of the coronavirus. We're getting all this stuff. It's all coming out. Now, to bring in because Nick clearly can't figure out the fact that there's a running order of what we talk about. But we'll talk about it in a second. But so Nick watched basketball as well, for that matter. Girlfriend, no sport comes first, or she's gone. Richie says they're removing all players' names off the back of the shirts and putting Black Lives Matters on there instead on multiple sites. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment. There's been nothing on the news under any circumstances. I was under the impression that politics was left out of all sports, especially to that degree. But as I said, mate, I'll have a look into it. Again, but let's have a look to see what Nick said earlier. I see Spurs and Palace are interested in Ngakia. Yes, he is. Yes, they are. Many clubs are looking at Ngakia for understandable reasons. He's a junior. He's walking free. He's had some terrific performances. That's the word I was thinking of. Some terrific performances in the league. So it's only natural that Premier League clubs and maybe La Liga clubs and all that stuff are going to be looking at him. But all clubs send scouts to all teams anyways and have a look. I know X mentioned it on the podcast that was recorded last night with when they were after they had that really, really cool interview with John Hartson. Very, very good conversation that they had with it. But yeah, no, it's completely understandable that he's gonna be drawing attention from London clubs, because I'm guessing he's gonna want to try and stay in London. If he moves to Spurs, that's the ultimate kick in the teeth, as far as I'm concerned. It really, really is the ultimate kick in the teeth. If he goes to Palace, Still a kick in the teeth, just not as much. But with Spurs, teams like Spurs, I can understand because they've got a better push for European football. They've got a better squad than us. We hate to admit it as Spurs fans, but they've got a better squad. Otherwise, if they didn't have a better squad than us, they wouldn't be hovering around the top four all the time. It's as simple as that. They wouldn't have been able to do it. Ian's in. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing all right. But yeah, Ngaki is more than likely going to be drawing interest from everybody. It's understandable. He's a youth academy player. He's one for the future for any club. And it's really stupid that we weren't able to secure him, but that's the thing. Gary says I'm late. Who are we talking about? Well, serve your punishment then, sunshine. No, we're just talking about Ngakia magnetizing himself. Getting multiple interests from different clubs, including Spurs and Palace. There are X did say there were other teams other than them looking at him, but apparently he's aware that they have interest in him, which is understandable, completely understandable. That was very, very funny to see that WHU did an article saying West Brom and West Ham haven't agreed to any loan deal yet. Yet apparently, literally about an hour and a half later, it's put up on the club website that he's had his loan deal extension agreed. And this guy's supposed to be in the know. It's ridiculous, absolutely bloody stupid. But it's no surprise because he was training with them. He's been training with them for the last couple of weeks. So it's completely understandable that he's going to want to extend his contract with them. And likewise, Josh Cullen has also confirmed today that he's extended his contract with Charlton as well, for that matter. Now that and that they've now been taken over Charlton as well. So I'm hoping that he's going to be all right for the next few weeks and prove himself. Pretty much every other junior that's out there is back apart from those two. So I wish him well. Because again, Ian's trying to get off your question mark mode, mate. Will you be buying a program for the Wolves game? No, I won't. But you can buy them. Apparently, they're limited editions. According to the club website, there are going to be programs for the remaining 5 home games. I can understand the reason. Why they're doing that. I can really understand the reason why they're doing that. Because they need the money. Quite frankly, it's a big part of. Well, it's not a big part, but it's a hefty chunk of their match day revenue. So it's understandable. I mean, I personally don't buy programs because I'm sick and tired of the rhetoric. It's every single time. It's the same thing every single time, bar a few different articles here and there, but the majority of them is the same. I don't agree with them. I bought a few. I mean, I've got a whole suitcase full of programs over there. I bought a program. The last program I bought was the London Stadium first ever game, the Europa League qualifier, where Feghouli made his debut. That's the last program I bought. Andy, mate, good evening. Hope you're doing all right. Kent Hammer says, evening, John. Hello, guys. If Jeremy wants to go, we move on. Exactly. West Ham will carry on. We have lost good kids before. We will do so again. But we also keep kids. The people think we will lose. That's football. Yeah. It's you're absolutely right there, Kent. Trying to navigate your way through what you're saying, but he's not the first. He's not going to be the last. As I said yesterday, we've got at least 2 to 3 right backs that have signed professional deals through the scholarship scheme that are going to break through in the next 2-3 seasons. Hopefully we've got Ben Johnson. We're more than likely going to buy another a right back as a result. But as Dave and X quite rightly said on the said on the podcast last night, it makes no sense trying to offer not to offer Ngakia $8,000 a week, which is what he's asking for, which is we've previously talking about. then, but instead asking Zabaleta to extend by a month, which means the club's going to be basically paying an extra £200,000 when they could just be paying out, what was it, £32,000. It's ridiculous, but it's West Ham. It's West Ham. That's all that happens. Ben, hello mate. Hope you're doing all right. Jay, Jay, we're not talking about that because the twat is not going to get any exposure on this channel. Gary says this has become part of my day now. Good, I'm glad. Won't be the same when you stop. Thank you for all you've done, mate. Much appreciated, Gary. I really, really do appreciate that. And yeah, it is going to come to a stop at some point, guys, because I work a 10.5-hour day. I do my job. Even on my lunch break, I'm researching articles and subjects to talk to you guys about. And then literally when I've finished, I have my dinner. And then I do this until 7:30. So yeah, it's a long day, and I'm glad you appreciate it, Gary. That's very, very kind of you. But now going back to the QPR friendly yesterday, some more. You guys have probably seen this anyway, but it was confirmed that the goal scorers were Allaire, Antonio, Fornals, and Ayeti. Apparently, Hugo isn't the goal scorer for that one goal we conceded. Now, one of the things I was thinking about after we talked about this stuff, one thing I absolutely talked about this, thought about this about a little while after we went live. We finished the broadcast. Is if Xande Silva plays on Saturday when we play Palace in the training friendly as well, for that matter, this could be huge for him. This could be absolutely massive, and it could be very, very good for us as well. Because if he plays and he's fine throughout the majority of the game, I don't know how obviously there's limited information that comes out because, again, as it's been quoted from various sources, ITKs and otherwise, that Moyes is trying to keep his cards close, which is why we can't see what the formation was. We can't see what the starting lineups were. It's brilliant. It really, I'm loving this fact because at the end of the day, Moyes is experimenting during these training games to see what's going to work. I'm guarantee he's going to be exactly the same. They're going to be exactly the same. But yeah, we'll have a. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Hammers chat, West Ham from Gonzo's in. Hello, Gazer. Well, at least I'm hoping it's you and not a fake account. Rick, can you double check it for us, please, mate? But X has changed the scorer from Fornals to Masuaku. We all got it wrong. Fine, not a problem. I don't give a monkeys. I don't care. Quite frankly, as long as that will solidify. If that is true, then that will solidify him a little bit more into the starting 11 for the next coming games. But yeah, we scored 4. Who cares, mate? But yeah, if that is Gonzo, welcome, fella. If you're free, let us know, and it'd be nice to have you on, mate, and we'll have a chat. It is, yeah. So Gonzo, yeah. Let us, if you're free, fella, let me know, and I'll it'd be nice to have you on. Nix says, I think Xander is a beast and will be the next breakthrough and is potentially a perfect strike partner for Allaire. I think you're absolutely right there, mate. Cheers, Rick. I think you're absolutely right there, Nicky, about that. I think one of the reasons probably why Gonzo's come on is because Gio probably told him I was working in my McDonald's polo yesterday, so he wants to see what I'm wearing again today. That was funny, JP. That was brilliant. Very well played from him. Nick says something about there. Mate, thank you for being the most consistent West Ham channel along with Hammers Chat and all the hard work. Thanks, mate. Thanks. That's appreciated. Very, very appreciated. Gonzo says, next time I'll chat, Mrs. at work, so I've got to get the hobbits to bed. You referring yourself in that little line there, short ass. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I'm glad that both of you are interacting with this channel now. It's nice. It's good. I like it. And guys, seriously, mate, I can't wait to get down the boats again. I'm missing that. I know I've only been down a couple of times, but I really, really missed that. We've had good fun down on the boats. Right. Okay. So where are we? Okay. So, but yeah. So, but as I say, I genuinely think that if Sunday Silva gets decent game time against QPR and Palace, because obviously when we don't know how much game time he had yesterday, I think it's going to be huge for us. I would love to get the chance. Maybe not against Wolves. But I'd love to see him play in at least one or two of the next 9 games coming up in the Premier League. I would absolutely love to see that. Really, really would. Allaire and Zonde Silva together. You know, it's. I know a lot of people have been crying out to get Zonde Silva back in, especially the geezer that was with Tim and us when I went on to made my debut on the boats, shall we say. But a lot of people have been really, really waiting for it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And I don't get me wrong, JP. I'd give Jeremy $8,000 a week. Yeah, a lot of us would, mate. A lot of us would if it would sort the matter out. Yes, indeed. Well done for uploading daily. It's a big commitment and time consuming, mate. You know as well as I do how time consuming it is. But yeah, it is. But thank you very much, mate. That means a lot. It really does. Ben says, hopefully Silva is given a chance. The other youngsters too. Yeah. It'd be nice to see more guys coming back, as I say, and it'd be nice to see if we can get Holland in at some point as well over the next few games. But yeah, it's good news. It's good news. It's good news. Now, also for that matter, I mean, guys, as I say, drop your questions in at any point. But it's also good news to see that when the Premier League does start in basically 6 days' time, you know, as far as we're concerned, as Hammond supporters, it doesn't start for excuse me, it doesn't start for 8 days. But what they will be doing is they'll at the start of for any game from Wednesday until Monday or Sunday, I think it is, Sunday and including Sunday. Teams will be doing a minute silence to remember those who have died with coronavirus, which will be held before the first matches after the Premier League restarts. This is on BBC Sport. So the tributes will take place before the opening 2 fixtures on the 17th of June. So it's basically just and the first full round of games next weekend. So when they say next weekend, I'm guessing not this coming weekend, next weekend, but that's an ambiguous term. Heart-shaped badges in tribute to the frontline NHS staff will also be worn on kits. Clubs agreed to a range of medical and operational protocols for the restart of the season at a meeting on Thursday. There will be strict limits on those allowed into stadiums on match days and grounds split into zones according to the tunnel and pitch, which we've gone before, and then it just goes on about other stuff that's not really, really relevant. But I think it's a brilliant thing to do. I really, really do think it's a brilliant thing to do. That they're showing their public support to the 41,000 people so far that have died as a result of it. Gary asks, have you sent your photo into the club up? In terms of the mosaic you're talking about, yes, I have. I did that straight away, and I did say the other night that I've done it. But yeah, that was done. That was done on it pretty quickly. Joe says, I'm not sure we've got time to keep chopping and changing the squad. This is why we are bottom half, mate. We've got no choice. 2 games in a week. We've got no choice. It's going to have to be done. And even with friendlies, it's going to have to be done. So it's the way that it goes. Richie says, would Moyes play Allaire and Silva together though? Maybe that we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know what the formations were in the friendly yesterday afternoon, and we won't know the formations again for when the game kicks off on Saturday. So for all we know, it could have been, and because Antonio played, so it could have been Antonio supporting those two. Could have been Fornell supporting those two. It could have been Silva out on the wing. We just absolutely have no clue. No clue whatsoever. And this is the thing: it's gonna jump. It's all these questions are going to go unanswered for a good few weeks until, well, not even a week and a half. And I personally, I would love to see Silva on the bench for Watford, Wolves. Sorry, don't think he'll get the run out. I don't think it's the right game for him to be at. But you never know. You never know. Gonza said I sent my picture in for the mosaic, but they returned it because I was too handsome. Ben Davis said, "Will VAR still be used still? Does anyone know?" Yes, it will. It will it will, because it's one of the things because this is the flagship, for lack of a better way of putting it, the flagship season for VAR. But as I say, the technology isn't at fault; it's the people that are using it that are at fault. Before anyone asks, Nick Squire says next season's team: Fabianski, Creswell, Malang Sarr on a free with Ogbonna and Johnson at right back, Rice at central defensive midfield. Fornals at central attacking midfield with Dean Garner on the left, Bowen on the right, and Silva with Allaire up top. That's not far off. I'm not sure this Sarr geezer is. I'm guessing you're talking about the double swoop that we're supposed to be doing for Nottingham Forest, which I think again is quite lazy writing, quite frankly. Because it's just basically rehashing the story that went out 5 months ago about us having a bid for Matty Cash. But you never know. Gary asks, who would you have on the bench for the first game? I'd have Noble on the bench, even though I think he's going to be starting. I'll have Noble, Martin. We can have 9 players on the bench now. So Martin, Noble, Masuaku, because we have to have a left back on there. Fredericks on the bench. Diop on the bench. Not Diop on the bench. Sorry, Balbuena on the bench. Who else would we have? I'd have. That's a tricky one, actually. I'm trying to think of the other 4. Nathan Holland. I'd have Lanzini on the bench. I've got a funny feeling Moyes is going to put Wilshere on there, and I would also put on Lewis as well. But yeah, you never know. Cheers, folks. Got to fly. Thanks for keeping me occupied whilst I had a cup and a half a pack of biscuits. All right, I'll go on then. 5 minutes, Emily. All right. To your Twitter account, mate. Yeah. Or do you want me to send it to? Do you want me to send it on to the Hammers chat one? Which one? Which one do you want, mate? Let us know. I've been aching. I've been trying to get this. I'm trying to get Gonzo on for a good few months now. But yeah, let us know, Gonzo, which where you want me to send the invite to. I'm literally standing by. Okay, all right, mate. Let me do it. Let me do that now. So apologies, guys. It's going to go a little bit silent for a bit. Actually, if I can find, where are we? If I can remember, there we go. You've got mail, son. Kent says, Yarmolenko on the bench. Not a bad shout, mate. Not a bad shout whatsoever. Yeah, not a bad shout. JJ's all right. See if I can keep this up long enough for him to. Nah, that's gonna break my fingers if I keep doing it that odd. Vernon, he's back. Just came back home for a number 2. Thank you. Thanks for that thought. Last thing I want to know is you being doing a pony. You're welcome, fan. 6 a.m. breakfast. Do that. Oh dear, toilet humour. Now this would have been the perfect time for Gonzo to set himself up, because he could have gone and introduced a man that apparently sits in the toilet. Boom. But actually, but yeah. But no, I honestly do think that, just going back to what we were talking about before, I do genuinely think it's a great idea that that all the Premier League players are showing their solidarity for those that have died due to the coronavirus. I really think it's a good idea. Superb. And likewise, if they are going to be doing what Richie was talking about by having the Black Lives Matters on the back, because from one point of view, it's an absolutely fantastic thing to do. I'm not saying there's anything wrong for it if from another point of view, but as I say, it's just basically it's a no-win situation. They'll be criticised if they do, and they criticise if they don't. So it's like with everything. Really is like with everything. So he hasn't read it yet. Gonzo, wakey. Are you combing the biscuit crumbs out of your beard, son? Well, yeah, Gary says he must be brushing his hair. Either that, or he's playing on the Star Trek pinball machine. But yeah, always wanted to make an entrance. This man always wanted to make an entrance. But yeah, guys. Whilst we are waiting for it, X did also say that the kits for next season are going to be available soon. In terms of they're going to be given to that they're going to be given to the players for them, obviously, to do the photo shoots, whatnot, and then X is going to get access to seeing them as well. So when X says that does his little teasers about what's going to come, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to this. So what I thought I'd do, because I know we've spoken about quite a few concept kits pretty much ever since they've become available. I was hoping to try and keep this a little bit later, but we will while we are doing this, while we are waiting for Gonzo to come on, we will have a look at the concept shits one last time. So I put them. Here he comes. Good evening, dear boy.
Hello, mate. Can you hear me?
How are you, mate?
I'm all right. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Super. Yeah, all right, mate.
Good. Nice to finally have you on.
Yeah, no, nice, mate. Nice. Thank you. I didn't want to make a big song and dance about it, because literally I've got 5 or 10 minutes, but they're playing quite nicely in the garden. I had basically some garden furniture delivered, and they've basically got 3 massive boxes out there, which they've turned into a den. So they're occupying themselves, not going anywhere anytime soon. Anyway, you all right?
I'm good, mate. I'm all right. I'm a little bit tired. It's been a long day, but it's been good, mate. It's been good. One question before we dig into everything else: what's happened to your pinball machine, the Star Trek one?
It's without boring your senses, the sound, they're full of electronics. They're basically made in the 90s. These things, they're very. Yeah. The technology that's in that you could probably get in something like that now. Do you know what I mean? Your phone is 10 times more powerful than that, basically. But there's loads of circuit boards and everything, and soundboard has had to go out to get repaired. I tried to solder it myself, but it was a bit beyond my my limited expertise. But it's fine. It's just getting repaired. But I've got to get that repaired before I can move the other one in, because I've been told to get them all out of the house, understandably.
Well, the funny thing is, mate, is that, again, this is going to make me show my age as well, for that matter. I used to play that at the Trocadero.
Did you?
Yeah, not that one specifically, but that I used to play that all the time when I was a teenager. That shows you how old I am, unfortunately.
We used to go down. I mean, my mate used to go down there because he used to. I think it was Tekken or Street Fighter, something like that. He used to do it quite competitively, and they had the they used to have the tournaments up there at Trocadero, because you go upstairs, didn't you? Right by Piccadilly Circus, upstairs, and because all the arcade was massive place. Yeah, he was pretty good. He was
stuck
pretty
right up
good
in
up
the
there.
corner. So that you
Yeah.
kind of made to from one point of view, mate, getting you prepared for what you do every day now. stuck in the corner with pinball machines.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, it's funny, isn't it? You know, yeah, I had a massive. I was talking to I was talking to somebody the other day actually. I was talking to oh, she won't be watching. She's not interested in football. I was talking to my sister about her old boyfriend actually, and you know, that's 25, 30 years ago. I was saying to her, so you do realise, basically, he used to take me out, and he was one that used to take me to the football. And then when we went down, when my parents moved down to Bournemouth, he used to take me to the amusement arcade and give me 50 pences. And it basically got me hooked on pinball. I said, so basically, your old boyfriend is responsible for my pinball addiction, which has manifested itself in having no room anymore.
Yeah, no, I because remember, mate, almost
I
a
do.
year ago now,
I do.
our little slightly drunken,
We tried to find the pinball machine in Stratford.
no
Yeah.
sat nav coordination, trying to find
But
the pinball.
they closed the boozer, didn't they? Which was basically a games pub. Which they're old things, mate. They're like antiques. So I do them up and move them on and sell them now, really. But it's something that, you know, makes a little bit of money, but not enough to not enough to pay the rent, if you know what I mean. But yeah. Anyway, you didn't get me on here to talk about pinball machines.
No,
Sure.
I know, but it's one of the things that you and I share in common, mate.
I do love me pinball. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I mean, because obviously, I don't need to ask you how you've been coping, because we've been seeing how you've been coping the last 12 weeks. But with the family dynamic sort of thing, I mean, how's it been going? How have the kids been coping with it?
Sometimes well, sometimes they fight like cat and dog. So 2 of them have gone back to school, 2 of them haven't. Actually, one of them goes back next Wednesday. So they're sort of half class sizes, so it's almost school light. Do you know what I mean? It's not quite the full school, but thank you for asking. Everyone needs a bit of company, John, you know, so I think they've appreciated going back, even though they're not allowed to play in the way that kids would normally play, you know. So it's 15 a class rather than 30. They've each got their own table, and even it's quite sad, really. And even when they have to have lunch, you know, that's not what kids do. You know, kids give each other Chinese burns and smack each other with conkers. Well, they probably don't anymore. But you know what I mean? They're not kept in isolation, which is basically what's happening. But it's better than being stuck at home. And so so it only leaves us really with the 13-year-old, and there's no plan for her school to go back. But up and down, mate. Like anybody. Some days good, some days bad. We took a trip to, not like the beach. You know, like you see everyone's gone mad on the beach and all that. You know, we didn't do that because fortunately, because I say my folks moved down to Bournemouth years ago. You know, sort of 30, at least more than 30 years ago. So I went down there when I was 13, so I managed to get a bit of local knowledge. So we managed to go down to the seaside, but not anything that any tourists would know about. So we actually, I'll share a couple of photos with you actually. But yeah, we managed to find almost a beach, not quite to ourselves, but there's no one within 100 yards of us. So that was good. It was good to get out. It is important to get out. It is really important not to stay in all the time. But you know, I'll tell you what, Albert, you doing this, you'll understand it as people say, oh, thanks for doing the videos and that sort of thing, as I'm sure they say to you. Well, I saw Nick say it to you earlier, but that helps, to be fair, because people say, oh, thank you for doing it. And I've said a couple of times, well, hold on, you know, also thank you, really, because it's it does keep you it does keep you busy thinking, okay, well, I've got to allocate this much time of each day to do a video and all the rest of it, and you don't feel like you haven't spoken to anyone, even if you've only spoken to children, which can be you can only talk about Harry Potter so many times, John.
Well, just let's go on to do a bit of shop talk now, because apart from Gio's not happy with you being on, it's nice to know he's actually tuning in for me for a change rather than taking the piss out of me for what I'm wearing. But
I didn't know about this. I didn't know he took the piss out of you for what you were wearing. I would have, if I'd have known. Actually, I was busy yesterday, but I might have joined in. But you were wearing a McDonald's top, is that right?
It was a mustard Schlesinger polo, and
nice.
So he introduced himself by John's.
Do you sell them on free retro, do you, John?
No, they're not, mate. It's not that retro, sadly. The Schlesinger is, as we know. But
yeah. I think Mike Ashley owns Schlesinger now.
Oh God, does he?
Yeah, he bought it up. So all that stuff that you will see in Sports Direct, he bought those companies. Lonsdale, he bought Lonsdale. I think he bought Lonsdale. He bought Schlesinger. I think he bought Dunlop. That's why you will only get Dunlop golf clubs in Sports Direct. That's why you'll only get Lonsdale, this, that, and you know, that's basically, it looks like they've got a load of different variety of stuff, but basically Mike Ashley sells Mike Ashley goods, which I guess is fair enough. I guess Greg's only sell Greg's current buns and pasties, don't they? But anyway, go on, mate. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just before that, Andy's saying the same comment he did last night, saying vintage wolf shirt.
Oh, we must say, yeah. Well, I'm sorry I missed it, mate. I'm sorry I missed it.
Fine. Well, if I'm not to be too much like a salesman, but you can always go back and watch yesterday's episode, mate. It's not a problem.
I can, and clearly I can click the free retro link below, as I can see.
But because I haven't had a chance to see your video you put up today, I want to get your thoughts on the QPR friendly yesterday.
You really haven't seen the video that I put up today here. It wasn't. I haven't taken the friendly too seriously. I didn't really know an awful lot, and it was really just trying to see what I could do to talk for 10 minutes about something I hadn't actually seen. So I found myself commenting mostly on the players' hairstyles and the boot colours. So it wasn't the most insightful and tactical video you'll ever see in your life, but I do like to think I had some interesting things to say about the players' barnets. Not going to get with their son, but you know what, mate? It was nice to see the pictures. It was nice to know that the players got a run out. I quite enjoyed the rumours that came out afterwards, which I thought were quite good. Just basically people scrambling around, suggesting that the QPR player had played for West Ham, which I thought was hilarious. There was a few things, but it's a shame. You know what? Had it been broadcast, had it been streamed, I would have seen it. We would have watched it, wouldn't we? But it wasn't, and so we're all grasping to know what had happened and see if we can read anything into anything that we saw. You know, so. But basically, that was my video today. I was looking through the pictures, going, okay, what can we read from that? So that's Souček. Is that Fredericks in the background? Is this, that, and the other? So, we've got another one against Palace. I got a nice comment on today's video from a Crystal Palace fan who said, I hope you wankers go down, which was nice. Something like that anyway. So
well, if the rumours are true, mate, and Gaki is going to is attracting interest from Palace, it could well happen at some point.
I heard that Palace need a right back, right? Because obviously they didn't replace Wan-Bissaka. What a hell of a player he is, by the way. Yeah. But the three rumours I heard were Palace, Tottenham, and Arsenal. What? Surely not. I'm not the best one with news, John, because I haven't always got my ear to the ground. Do you know what I mean? Particularly on all the breaking stuff, because I don't spend a lot of time on social media. But no, surely not. He doesn't seem. He's not that good, is he? I mean, he's all right. I think Gio had it right when he said, he'd be, maybe looking for regular action at a championship club. I think that's about right. Listen, we were really pleased when he came in. I thought he was solid enough, and I thought he got us out of a sticky place, really, because Zabaleta by that point it looked like he was a little bit too slow. Fredericks had a knock, and I've never been, thrilled with. I just think Fredericks' lack of technique. He's always recovering, isn't he? So, but he uses his pace, which is a hell of an asset. So I thought he did us well, and Ngakia to get us out of the hole. And I thought, I didn't think anything more than, although that I was surprised. Well, that's good, because you worry when a youngster comes in. My initial thing is not that this is going to be the next Michael Carrick. I think my natural instinct is, I hope this geezer doesn't fuck up. Sorry, am I allowed to swear?
Of course it is, mate. Yeah.
So I hope he doesn't fuck up. I don't want a player to ever go out and make a fool of themselves. So when I saw Ngaki, I thought, oh, that's good. He's competent. He's not let himself down. He's not let anyone down. But I never got the impression, oh, blimey, this fella's going to be off to Manchester United or whatever. So I'm surprised at the three players linked. I am, really, the three teams linked. Obviously, there's a big difference between Arsenal, Tottenham, and Crystal Palace. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, if we're linked with Thiago Silva, and Gaku can get linked with those three teams. Do you know what I mean? It's I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't really talk about anything that isn't substantiated, because what was it? The Daily Mail running the fact that we were linked with 35-year-old midfielder. when it's been washed over all over the social media for the last 6-7 months that Moyes wants a young team. We've all said it. We can all see youngsters. I mean, as you have said quite a few times over the last few months, that it's the Red Bull template that he wants to follow. So that's why I ignore with rumours of us, as we always do, get linked to anybody from a 3 to 20, 25 million who's from 12 to 48, don't we? So
yeah, but without being funny, John, that's the West Ham fan in here with that mindset. I'm going to ignore that. There's also somebody that's uploading a video every day, so you can't ignore that stuff. You got to have something to talk about, mate. I know more than anyone. So I think as long as you address those rumours with the humour and the disdain that they maybe deserve. I saw the Thiago Silva one, and the I think the article went on to say it said all its stuff, and it went on to say. The wages may well be a problem. I thought, oh, okay, well, we can discount it totally, can't we? Anyway, then that's it. That was always going to be the case. But thank you for the 3 paragraphs I just read anyway, which I knew were bullshit. But I quite like it. I always have done quite like the rumours, to be fair.
Yeah, some of them do make me laugh. What was it? The when we linked to Sanchez, saying that he's currently on $500,000 a week, and we're linked with him. I said, how was that possible?
What, the one that played for Arsenal and Man United?
Yeah.
Were we? I missed that one.
That's been going floating around every other week since the middle of January.
Well, he was really good. I don't know what happened to him. I think if that is an example of, I mean, clearly nothing happened to his body, right? His leg didn't fall off or anything like that, right? He was inherently the same human being at Arsenal as he was at Manchester United. And he was really good at Arsenal. I know towards the end, he maybe dipped a little bit, but he was a brilliant player. He was, if the season before he left, he'd have got PFA Player of the Year, I wouldn't have been surprised. I wouldn't have thought, oh no, that's harsh. I would have thought, yeah, okay, fair enough. He's more or less the best player in the league. Game changer. And he just went, and it was suddenly crap. It's really weird when the players go like that. It shows you, doesn't it? It shows you, you'd want to do your homework and find out how. And as I say, it wasn't technical ability or anything like that, but he never stopped running. He had real drive, didn't he? Obviously, he was good technically. Because he went to he was at Udinese, actually, I remember, and everyone wanted to use Udinese. Barcelona got him, and then obviously Wenger brought him over for Arsenal. So it's funny, isn't it, when someone is a workhorse that doesn't stop. It was a lot like Carlos Tevez, actually, in that sense. Just didn't stop running, didn't stop working, and then they, you get $500,000 a week. Oh, I'm going to stop work. Maybe I probably would. If I had $500,000 a week, I'd probably stop working, John.
Definitely, but that was the funny thing. I mean, that's because we did talk about it, because loads of people were asking a few questions about it. And it's just like, well, if a player who's on $500,000 a week, how are we going to be able to afford a player like that? He's not going to take a 90% pay cut to come to West Ham. It's just not going to happen.
No, it's a funny one. Would you want him either? That's the thing. I think the obvious
10 years
one,
ago, mate, definitely 10 years ago.
Well, we wouldn't have got him 10 years ago, but the point is, I think. I often change on these things. So I laughed when who was it? It was Ibrahimovic, and it was before he'd even gone to Man U, and we were linked with him. And I do believe that they actually did make an offer or an offer or something. And I remember reading and people saying, "Oh no, Ibrahimovic, he's too old." And I remember saying at the time, West Ham are nowhere near good enough to turn down a player of Ibrahimovic's capabilities. But I think you are dealing with somebody else there, because actually went on, played really well for Man United, showed he could in the Premier League, went over to the MLS, scored more goals than anyone else. I wouldn't be surprised if he still carries on banging in goals the next 2 years. He's that good, isn't he? So there's part of me that has that, well, hold on a second, West Ham are not in a position, particularly when our second choice is a Jetty, are we really in a position to turn down someone like Sanchez? Probably not, but I think we've all seen enough. We've all seen enough journeymen come down to West Ham for their final payday. To actually think, I just don't think it's worth the risk. I don't think we should bother anymore. And if the kids in the academy are half as good as we told they are, Diallo and Kai Corbett and Ollie. Ollie, whatever
Watkins?
his name is.
Watkins? Yeah.
What you're right, it's Ollie Watkins, isn't it? Well done. Yeah. If they're half as good as we're informed they are, I'd rather, give someone like that a chance. Of course, you were talking about Silver when I was trying to plug me cables in.
Do you think he's going to get a chance on Saturday again?
Saturday? Oh yeah. Well, it's whether he gets a chance against Wolves. That's the thing, and I just can't. I can't see it. I think Moyes isn't adverse to throwing youngsters in when it's necessary and when it's needed. I think if what he's got is Haller to start, Antonio to play alongside him if he needs to, and then a Jetty afterwards, I think that's what he'll do. I think there would have to be a very special set of circumstances that would have to happen for Silva to come. But having said that, I listened to the radio yesterday when I was driving, and they were saying there's a 250%. It was a funny way to quantify it. 250% uplift in injuries in the Bundesliga. The normal,
wow.
That. So yeah. I don't know why I just didn't say 2.5 times. But yeah, so 200.
Well, yeah, because you can't get more than 100%, no matter how many times people say it.
You can't. You can't. I remember thinking, why don't they just say 2.5 times more players are getting injured since football's resumed? But yeah, I mean, if that has anything, if that plays out, you don't know. And you've also got to look. Maybe we've had a bit more time training. We've not rushed anything in this country during this thing anyway. We've certainly in sporting terms and medical terms, everything else, we seem to have constantly looked at what everyone else is doing before we do anything, whether you think that's right or wrong, it's another matter. But maybe that extra, maybe we've had a little bit more training, maybe that helps. We'll see.
Could be, yeah. Well, the last thing I want us to talk about, and Gonzo, it would be great to get your reaction on this as well, because obviously X said on this podcast last night that just as you were coming in, about the next season's kit's going to be leaked soon to the players, and they're going to do the photographs, and he's going to let us know. So what I thought I would do is it'd be nice to get your reaction to these as well, as I've spent quite a lot of time today putting together all the concept kits I could find that people have been putting up for the last couple of months, and I just want to get your thoughts, and guys in the chat as well, as always, let us know what you think about these. So this is the first batch of concept kits. Just make sure everyone can see them all right. Where are we? There.
And number 4 is nasty.
That is terrible, isn't it? I can see whether, because it's the that's a bit better. It's they've taken the BAC kit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awful. So
does number one look a little? I know the colour's different. Look a little bit Manchester United to you?
Now you're saying that, mate, I can see why. Yeah, it does. Just the whole layout of it. I mean, it's obviously mirroring the old 80s kit, but
yeah, anyway.
I actually quite like that before you said it.
Sorry. Number 2 is well, that's one of my favourite ever kits, really. So I would number 3, I think, is more likely what we're getting. I don't think you're going to get anything spectacular. It's so hard for them to mimic. Not mimic, for them to repeat the success of this season. Yeah. I know these are concept kits. I know I've been trying to get someone to do one for me, but yeah, it's not quite happened yet, because apparently there's a template and stuff like that, but you have to pay for the template, which I'm too tight and stingy and mean and nasty to do. But I did want to try my own one with a claret and blue, like a leopard print or a tiger print, but the stripes were claret and blue, just a sort of a Joe Exotic type kit.
The Richie's actually made quite a funny comment. Says number 4, the one you don't like, looks like my training shirt I've got on at the minute. I can see the similarity there, mate. Yeah, I can.
I actually had one of those, to be fair. No, I don't think so. No, that's not bad. I often like the training kits a bit more than the kits themselves anyway. But it's just so successful. I like that. I thought that was quite smart, going back to yesteryear this year. And if they did number 2, it's funny, isn't it? Whenever I look at a kit, I always have a player in mind. You know, when you look at those old kits and sort of, so the one like the FA Cup final kit, which is or whatever this year's retro kit or whatever you want to say, well, you know, that sort of era is a Trevor Brooking kit for me.
Yeah.
And I've always been quite obscure, and I don't know, but number 2, it doesn't matter that there's nobody in it. I still think George Parrish should be in it, although he's probably would need 2 kits. Having seen him recently.
Very, very, very true. Yeah, and what a player he was. We could do with if Creswell watches his videos, man. We'd have a much better left back. We really, really, really would. But for me,
go on. Sorry, John.
Just for me, out of that lot, now number 2, I just see Billy Bonds in it completely.
Oh yeah.
But for me, out of those, number 3 is the one that I like the most out of that. I really like the whole look of that. But sorry, what were you going to say?
Just about George Parrish played everywhere. I mean, always, you know, was a say marauding. I mean, the thing is, George Parrish, I was going to say marauding midfielder, but not quite marauding, maybe. But was never the best player, never. But I tell you what, he was West Ham, and he gave it his all. And you never, I'm not sure a comparable player would be now, because then sort of Steve Potts took over that mantle from him.
Big time, yeah,
which is just a try. That is number 6 is nasty.
Mm-hmm.
What on earth? It looks like you're going to give half of it away.
I mean, even if you take that stupid blue lightning out of it,
that's meant to be there. I thought that was my screen. My screen has got like an ink thing going on where I pressed the screen too much. I thought that was my screen with sort of ink or whatever it is coming through. Has the one number 5 got wind turbines on it?
It looks like it, but
the Mercedes kit.
Yeah, it does actually look like it. Yeah. What do you think about? I mean, again, I like it because number 5, because you got the Umbro bit down the shoulder like the old Admiral that we did for the 80 Cup final. But number 7, I think, looks pretty tasty as well for that man.
Very nice. They're all very tight, though, aren't they? Not for a man with moobs and chaps like me. I've got to be honest with you. Having said that, the other one, I think it might have sucked it in a bit, you know, when I got me 2 kits for 30 quid. Someone said, "Oh, you've been." So I've had a bloody smoke up my what's. I said, "You've been working out." I did lift some biscuits from the bottom of the cupboard into the tin, if that's what they meant. But I think there's a cut on these which are they probably make you look more flattering than you actually might be.
Well, Andy makes quite a good point. It's quite funny at the same point about number 6 is a cycling top. It does look like it. Yeah, it does look like it, especially the way it's been designed. And number 3, there's where are we? Sorry, the third lot.
Okay.
And we got these as well for that matter. Some of these I think you probably already seen before.
I clearly, you know, I can see where number 8's coming from. What on earth? Yeah, it's all right. What on earth is that? A number 10. I mean, it's just not a West Ham kit.
No, not even the third kit for that matter.
It's not. I just think put something in there. If you're going to do the black, right, put a bit of blue in it or put a bit of claret in it. Have something West Hamish in there, right? Don't put green in it. What's that? You know, it's I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. Yeah, I mean, nine's all right. I'd take it or leave it. It's funny, isn't it? And we all get fussy. Well, I say we all get fussy. Like, I'm looking at number 9 thinking, I don't like the way they finished the collar, like I'm some fashion guru. Look at me sat here with me paint splattered top, telling people what's fashionable and what's a good cut of a collar or not. I'm a scruffy git, right? But yeah, you know what? People always make a fuss about these kits when they come out. And I can always take it or leave it. I do think this season, whatever, you know, the ones that we are wearing now, as the first time in a little while, I thought, oh, nice. You know, actually was what I thought was worthy as a conversation piece, as it were. So they're going to find it hard to replicate that again. And
absolutely.
I'm so desperate to see to get it back, though, the football now, that I don't care. I wouldn't give it, even if it was a plain Jane kit. I wouldn't. you know, and Umbro turned around and said, you know what, we had the staff furloughed, we had to close the factory. We were trying to do something a bit more extravagant. What you get in this season's a bit plain. I'd probably turn around and go, all right, I understand. It's fine. Let's, you know, whatever. I think the really decent thing to do, the really decent thing would be to say, we're not going to do a new kit for next year. We're going to keep the old ones.
Absolutely, mate. I mean, but that you know as well as I do, that's never going to happen. It'd be nice, but they'll never do it.
Yeah, that's the one for the referee there, and the LA Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were saying about number 12, and I mean that's the last of them. But a lot of people
like that, do they?
Actually, too many people were saying that looks too much like Palace's anniversary kit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's random to say that Palace actually used to be in claret and blue before the mid-70s. That's when they changed to their actual red and blue. But yeah, they were claret and blue for quite a while.
I like the I do like the arm bits on it though. I've got to say that's a pattern on that. They're quite they're quite good. Yeah, you know, people. You know, good. You know, people trying to pass the time, aren't they? Really.
Yeah, I mean, Luke from Three Hammers is in, and he said number 11 was when we win the Champions League.
Yeah, that's the one that absolutely, Luke, the one that will never get worn, mate. Yeah, the referee, the one the referee's wearing in the Champions League, of course. Does it look like? It looks like. I'm not being funny. Is it just me, or is it my screen again? If you look at number 11, just under the West Ham badge, it looks like there's a bit of a breast forming.
You're not that far off it, actually, mate.
I'm telling you, there's a couple of devil's dumplings in there. I'm telling you.
Very high, but yeah,
high and proud. They did maybe they were having the procedure, and then the surgeon, the old silicon surgeon, got furloughed and said that, you know, you'll have to come back. We won't be doing the rest of the breast until after lockdown. Maybe something like that. There you go. This is taking a turn for the worst, isn't it? This video since I came on, John.
Well, I wouldn't expect anything less, sir.
Oh, good.
But no, mate, it's been absolutely joy to talk to you. It's been good to have you on. I know you said you only got 10 minutes. It's been quarter of an hour so far. So the kid's still all right?
He's got the brown, you know, the brown tape that you get when you're moving.
Yeah.
They're taping 2 boxes together with that brown tape. Yeah, they're
well,
they're building something. They're building something.
As long as he's not using it on his sister, mate, I think you'll be all right for the next couple of minutes.
That's true. That could well be tomorrow. That could well be tomorrow. We've had they've worked out that there are some games that you can use an Xbox remote, an Xbox controller. You can actually plug it into a laptop, and there's some games you can play on there. They've worked this out the last few days, and they've got 2 laptops linked together, and they're playing. Yeah, they've but it caused a bit of a fight the other day.
Someone's trying to play.
I don't know. Someone stole someone's crystal, whatever that means. But it was big stuff. It was quite important. It was a big issue inside the house at the time. And as I said to him, as one of them was at the top of the step and the other one was at the bottom of the stairs, being told off, I cannot believe that we've had a situation where a fight has ensued over someone stealing a crystal that doesn't actually exist.
Well, as I say, if your kids are a little bit older, you could say that's more the plot of the Dark Crystal, that, mate, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they remade that, by the way. I'm old enough to watch the original version. I've just realised I'm reversed.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm reversed on here. I don't know if I am on YouTube.
No. Look at no, I can. Your badge is readable. It's the right way around.
Oh right, okay. Well, the way I'm looking at it, there you go. So that's what I just looked like there. So I thought, hold on, I turned back. Hold on, I'm looking the wrong way. The kids aren't that way; they're that way. I hope, and otherwise they've laid siege to the man cave.
But yeah, no, honestly, mate, it's been great. It's been great to have you on. But yeah, you're right. It did come out on Netflix, wasn't it? Last year, the Dark Crystal, very, very good program. And apparently, that's the same company that's going to be doing was it that I was reading something the other day that there's going to be the same effects company that's doing the new Jurassic World movie as well, for that matter. Same designers. Yeah,
another Jurassic World.
The third one.
the last one I did, because of course Jurassic Park was wonderful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they brought out this Jurassic World, and then it's so funny, right? Oh, what's that thing that's even bigger than a T-Rex? Well, it's sort of a T-Rex, but we mated it with, with a Velociraptor, and now we've got this, and he says, "Oh no, surely you haven't whatever merged the the Velociraptor with the T-Rex to make this T-Rexoraptor or whatever they've called it." I guess they did it with the artificial insemination, like with a mosquito or whatever, because I don't think a T-Rex shagging a Velociraptor is a good look, to be fair. With his little arms.
Could have been the other way around,
That's
mate.
an image for you. And make a meme out of that.
You never know. The raptor could have jumped up and tried,
It very well endowed, a raptor. I'm not even sure if they have dinkles, actually, because they lay eggs. They don't even know whether a dinosaur is a bird or a reptile, do they? So
well, either way, there's a package going on there somewhere, mate.
There's something. I don't know if they do it like fish or there's a dinkle involved or anything. As I say, sorry for lowering the tone of your sensible and serious West Ham conversation. But I'm sure you can tag it accordingly. Maybe what happened when the T-Rex mounted the Velociraptor.
Yeah, that will certainly boost my viewing figures, mate. That's for damn sure.
And anything, I'll do it every day, mate. Anything goes, mate. Listen,
but yeah,
so I meant what I said, mate. Well done for uploading every day. You've
thanks,
done. It's not like climbing Mount Everest or anything, but it takes your time, and you got to commit to it. And sometimes there's nothing to talk about. Often there's nothing to talk about.
As I said to Yaz a little while back, I said, "You're the only man I know that can, getting to know, I should say, that can do a 4-minute video with the title, I've got nothing to say."
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody actually said on today's video, he said, I reckon you could do 15 minutes on a blank bit of paper. And I laughed. I thought, there's a nice comment. I thought,
But those are your notes anyway, though, aren't they?
I wonder, was that?
I mean, those are your notes anyway, aren't they?
They are because I can't write. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, listen. Thank you for having me on, mate. And sorry it's taken so long. But if we make a big plan that I've got to put aside this night or whatever, we've benefited from the kids not killing each other and making it looks like the size of London Stadium, but out of cardboard, which is not that far away from the London Stadium, really, when we think of the building quality of it. But listen, when I've been able to do this, I've not been able to see the chat, obviously. So I don't know. But I saw Andy and Nick and Jay and lots of people in there earlier. So hello to everybody.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's been brilliant having you on, mate. And we'll definitely have to have a proper catch up, either down the boats or you're more than welcome to come on again whenever's feasible for you. But guys, thank you to everybody that's been in the chat as well. For that matter, Bex is only literally just tuned in just as we were finishing up.
That's why she's tuned in.
Yeah, she's always late to the party.
Absolutely.
How she gets down to the football on time, I'll never know.
She's early. She's often early.
Well, but guys, thank you very much for watching. As I say, if you've enjoyed it, it's been an absolute pleasure having this man on. And we're always welcome to have people on as well. Do you know, actually, before we go, there's somebody is pretending to be MNK watches this channel.
Who?
And do you remember MNK?
Who's MNK?
You remember that striker we had for about 6 weeks?
Oh, crikey! Yes, sorry. Yes, yeah. I thought for some reason I'm trying to think of the QPR, but it's not. That's not his name. No, go on. Sorry. Yeah. He's in here, is he?
Apparently, he was. And when I said, look, I know you're not the real player, and he went, but no, I am. I said, fine, come on, and he disappeared.
MNK.
Yeah, MNK.
MNK. Yes, absolutely. I think I was better than he was, really. I still am, probably, John. In all honesty, got the goal, been practicing. I actually yesterday, I scored a goal, even though there was a broom in the way, and I managed to curl the deflated football. It was completely deflated. It was like a scrotum, basically. And I managed to curl this thing all around the broom and into the goal. It was a glorious strike, And I turned around and celebrated. And my wife was stood there at the door just going, I said, what? She said, there's nobody here. Why are you celebrating? It was a good goal. It was a good goal. And you know what she said? She said, I bet you couldn't do it again. I said, ah. So I went and got it, took it back, and I couldn't do it again.
Was it good? Well, I was going to say, because if she would have jinxed you if she got the camera out and filmed you doing it.
Yeah, that would. I'm that desperate for content. I should have done it, really. But there you go. Tune in to watch tomorrow's video, where you'll see me curling a scrotum around a broom into a goal. But thank you for watching John's video.
Yeah, well, that's not happening on this channel. It might be on Admirals Chat forum after 10 o'clock tomorrow night, maybe. But guys, thanks, Gonzo. I'm just going to drop you out for just a brief second.
Thanks.
But guys, thanks very much for watching. If you're new around here, then by all means, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you've enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow evening at 6:30.